I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction, and I'm as stoked as can be that springtime is finally here. But you know what? I'm going to wait until next week before I go outside and enjoy some of the springtime weather, as there's a little tournament going on, and it's called March Madness. We've had an explosive start to the tournament, and things are only to get better. Now, let's take a look at Saturday's games. We've got Morehead State coming off their shocking win over Louisville. Now, this win was shocking for more reasons than one. Not only is Rick Pitino an expert in full court presses and traps, he's also an expert in Morehead as well. The irony is extremely thick here, but Morehead State's run comes to an end. The Richmond Spiders step up and in and get it done on Saturday, as it's Richmond's time of the year, people, just like it's the Butler Bulldogs time of the year. Don't be fooled by the fact that Pittsburgh rolled UNC Asheville, all right? You and your buddies would give UNC Asheville a good game, and in fact, if you played ball for real, you would beat UNC Asheville. Now, Pittsburgh gets Butler. Butler doesn't have their star from last year. You know what? It doesn't matter. Butler has a ton of heart. Butler has chemistry. Butler is well coached. And Butler has experience in close basketball games. We're talking about a team that was one shot away from beating the Duke Blue Devils last year. Now, Pittsburgh's win against UNC Asheville, even though they covered the 17.5 points, really wasn't as convincing as the final score would indicate. You'd look and you'd see that they won by 20-plus points. And you know what? UNC Asheville actually gave Pitt a game, and I think Butler's going to give Pitt a game as well. Now, we've got West Virginia, and we've got Kentucky throwing it down. Now, you know what? This is a good thing that West Virginia and Kentucky are playing basketball, and this isn't a spelling bee, because we'd be watching, I don't know, like for like probably take like 2 weeks to actually find a winner. But no, they're not spelling, they're playing basketball. This is going to be an intriguing basketball game. West Virginia is an experienced team, and they just find a way to win basketball games. Coach Huggins is an underrated coach. Now, he's going up against Calipari. Calipari is a great recruiter, but he hasn't had a ton of success. He hasn't won that national championship. He's gotten to Final Fours before, and we saw how Princeton played Kentucky. I'm leaning with the underdog here once again. Now, speaking of underdogs, I'm staying far, far away from this underdog, even if his name is Shogun. We've got the past, the present, the future colliding. It's the UFC. Shogun Rua's UFC light heavyweight championship belt is at stake, and it's not often that you're going to see the champion and a badass like Shogun at that as such a heavy underdog. You know why? Because he's fighting Jon Jones. And I've never bet against Jon Jones before, except in his last fight. You know why? Because I'm an idiot. That's why. And, you know, I don't care if Shogun Rua is going to be able to use chairs, tables, ladders, and everything else in between. I don't care if he's got Brock Lesnar as a tag team partner. You got to take Jon Jones in this spot. Now, past, present, future collide. Shogun Rua, just a couple of years ago, he was the young phenom that was destroying everybody in Pride. Is it Jon Jones' time? I think there's a ton of more pressure on Shogun right now. Fact of the matter is, Jon Jones is so young. Even if he loses this fight, he's still going to get numerous opportunities to win a championship in the future. You know, Jon Jones going to end up fighting as a heavyweight down the road anyways, probably sooner rather than later, because if he wins, he's not going to want to fight Rashad Evans. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Shogun Rua has a legitimate chance, man. The guy packs power, and his kicks are devastating. But one thing about Jon Jones, he's so tall, he's so rangy, he's so athletic, it's going to be hard for Shogun to chop down Jon Jones like Shogun likes to chop him down. Now, Jon Jones eventually is going to have to get in there and get close to Shogun, and that's going to be extremely dangerous. We've seen Jon Jones do a lot of amazing things before. One thing we haven't seen Jon Jones do, really get punched in the face really hard. That's what Shogun does. Dangerous spot here, and I think the line is probably a little bit out of whack, but as I've stated before, I don't bet against Jon Jones. I've learned my lesson, and I bow before the future champion, and I think the future is now. Now, speaking of past and present and future in the UFC, we've got Mirko Cro Cop, another instance in which we've got a living legend who's a huge underdog against Brendan Schaub. Now, Schwab has actually greatly improved since his stint on The Ultimate Fighter, and with all due respect to Mirko Cro Cop, his best days are behind him. Brendan Schaub has gotten better and better with each and every fight. He's just going to be stronger, younger, faster. He wants it more. And Schwab understands with the UFC right now that he can climb the ladder. He's not all that far away from making some real money and getting some really big-time fights. And if he beat Gabriel Gonzaga, he's going to be able to beat Mirko Cro Cop. I'm going to be laying it down with a lot of favorites, as you can tell, this weekend. I like Joseph Benavidez to get it done. Uriah Faber, probably just one win away from another championship opportunity against Dominic Cruz. Different weight class. This is going to be an intriguing night. It's a great night of fights, actually, that the UFC has put together here, going head-to-head with March Madness. That's why I told you, I'm not going outside. I'm going to be sitting on the couch, clicking, and hopefully Charlie Sheening, winning as I click away. SIA's got some great numbers up on the board, and I see that the Charlie Sheen prop of the week is, will there be a ninth season of 2.5 Med? I believe there will be. There's too much money at stake, and I don't know if Charlie Sheen is in and he knows that SIA set a bet that he has 2 million followers, because it keeps on climbing. Now, I don't know how we're ever going to verify this, but now it's up to plus 200. But I'd lay it down. Of course, there's going to be another season of 2.5 Men. And of course, Charlie Sheen isn't getting to 4.5 million followers on Twitter. Now, we would talk about some National Hockey League hockey, as the playoffs are right around the corner. But you know what? If I want to watch people get hit in the head, I'll watch the UFC. I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. May the winners be yours.